Hi, everybody. So, welcome back to the panel. You guys, I was so happy I watched this episode live because I can bet me that if I had recorded this and I went back to watch it, I wouldn't have watched it. What were your, what's your thoughts on the episode?
I'm already tired of.
Marlo's a mess. Marlo's a mess. Just
She got to go.
She does. She has to go. She's just all over
But
the
she
place.
carried the
Mhm.
entire episode. I'm sorry. I think I have an opposite opinion for this whole Marlo thing today. Although I feel like she's messy, but when I go back in retrospect, if Marlo had not caused all this drama, this episode would have been very boring.
I,
yeah. I mean, that's kind of true, but
I wouldn't
still.
say that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mocha.
No, I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say that. I mean, she does too much. She does
Hmm.
too much. There's one thing to be messy, but she goes overboard, and I can't stand her. I just
And
cannot.
it's for no reason. It's unwarranted. It's just,
Mhm.
it's so out of pocket and out of left field. You're like, wait a minute, what just happened to even cause this aggression from her? Because Kenya wasn't saying anything wrong to her at the restaurant. So for her to come at her like that and overtalk her and like, oh, I can do this and I can do that. What was the attitude for? What was that all for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Marlo is very extra with everything.
Hmm.
Like she's extreme, that's the word. So it's like we could be talking about A and B and then the next thing she's on Z. Like the
Yes.
way her mind works is insane, in my opinion. Like of course it's good for the show in terms of like bringing in the drama, but I
Drama.
think she's unhinged. I think it
Mhm.
gets to a point where you're like, nah, she actually needs some psychological help because something ain't, some screws are loose in there, in my opinion.
So, anyways,
I
let's
think she
get
needs more than a
into
life coach.
let's get into this episode because I don't really think we have much to speak about. The episode was empty. So, I don't know if it's me, but I felt like this scene with Kenya and Muyeta was unnecessary. Probably they just wanted to show us the guy she's dating. I just do not know why that scene even came first. It made me lose interest in that episode because I was like, why are we starting the episode with such a boring conversation? They're losing me.
All of that Kenya was doing, I'm sorry, y'all, but it still don't seem like she got no moves. Like, girl, I,
Those hits were
no,
steep.
no, no. Something was off with Kenya. The whole
She looks
scene
stiff.
right there where they were, rehearsing to when they went to Alabama, something just was not, something, I don't know, something's off. It almost gives me, she paid for it just like Martell did in a way.
She is stiff. She is. She is stiff. Um. She. I mean, I don't know
She
why.
got the hair
She
flick.
wants to do all this. I mean, Kenya, Kenya, I love you. I've grown to love you over the years, but child, you're stiff. So I don't know why you want to do like these young girls. These girls are 18, 19, 20, 21 that are out there popping it, bucking it, whatever the heck they're doing out there. Girl, you're 51, 52 years old now. This is
52,
not
I
your
think.
this is not your ministry. So don't I don't know. I gotta go on. I gotta look on YouTube and see if somebody taped it to see how she looks.
Nah, it was terrible. She didn't look good. But I don't know. I was thinking, why was she hiding the whole choreography? Because it made the entire like trip. If you're hiding something like that, at least make the other girls understand or make the whole trip interesting. Because she was hiding this ridiculous secret, she was just making the girls feel so like
But she's drama
they should
though.
have
With
shelved
Kenya,
this
everything
episode.
is over the top. She's drama. So
They should have shelved this episode, honestly. It was terrible.
But then if you think about like Kenya's track record of planning any sort of trip, she does not know how to plan trips. She needs to stop doing those things. You need to get someone else to do it, honey. You can't do it, and that's okay. That's not your ministry. That is
If I
fine.
was there, I would have packed my bags and gone home. Because what was that?
It was boring. Like, it was no clear plan. Like, they should have at least had their itinerary before. Yeah, it was just all the way off.
I just think they should have scrapped
People,
the whole scene. It was just not even worthy of showing. It's just been boring. And I don't know why they keep putting first of all, I don't think Kenya really has a storyline right now.
She does not.
So yeah, she doesn't have one. So it's just
She
like,
needs to go back to playing the villain. Because at this point,
yeah, I like her
oh,
better as the villain, honestly. But they're gonna give that torch to Marlo, clearly.
yeah, I feel
Marlo
like
might
with that
Because
be
whole
you can't
scene,
have
the
like,
she should have planned that out. Like you should have scoped out the area, whatever the event was, checked out how it was the previous year. Because the way she came with these ladies, it's so extravagant. It's this elegant, you
Mm.
know, like they said, they thought they like a Met Gala type deal. And girl, we got cocktail hour on at the Moonshine Bar. Like,
No.
go back for
I'd have
more
been
yet.
mad as if I was Monietta. I would have been mad as hell. Hold on, you talked about my outfit,
Yes, she
and then
told.
this is what you
for
bring
that.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Nobody would have even seen your outfits. Everyone was so dark.
yeah.
This is
I don't know
true.
where she got that. She should have checked to see exactly because she said they said it was fashion forward. I mean, that
Yeah.
could.
Mm.
I
Honey, that was fashion backwards, and it seemed like she was the most. She was the most dressed. Kenya's dress, like she was overdressed. Girl, you really
Yeah.
came
With the
out like
whole
you
crown
was.
thing.
but,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but you know what though? Part of it was like Kenya was the star of this. I mean, I don't know if the people promoted it to say that Kenya was going to make an appearance. I don't know what the deal was with that.
Yeah,
Like that's something you have
that
to.
was what cause that was what she
You,
said. She said they invited her to
they
make an
invited her
appearance.
there, so they probably said that Kenya was going to be there. So her dressing like that, I understand. Part of the thing
Yeah.
with the other women was we have to remember not everyone watches the show. People that live in Alabama don't even watch Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Right.
Right.
So some of those people, depending on who they were, are not impressed by them and their stuff. So they come there, they feel it's boring because they expect people to fawn all over them, want pictures, autographs, whatever. That's what they're looking for. And then they're going to talk bad about the place. Like, go there. You don't have to stay all night. Make an appearance, be gracious to people, and go. But you see how they were standing there, Sheree and all that kind. Like,
Yeah.
that, there was no. You
But
just
let's
make
not
the
get
best
ahead
of
of
it.
ourselves. Let's not get
Okay.
ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
Let's talk about Sanya. Ugh,
Oh.
for the first time I'm on Sanya's side. I've actually been bashing this lady that why do you have so many family members? And finally she's making the right step because I don't even know how comfortable she is. Why do get a little bit from her perspective. She's too busy, so she's using her family members as like babysitters, house carers, basically using them as domestic staff.
Mm-hmm.
But now she's has finally listened to her husband and they actually need to leave. But I had a problem with the way our sister was acting like Sonia like owed her something. Just
I don't know, because at first, y'all know Sonia was against, her family leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the whole dynamic was. Evidently, she wanted them there to be closer, to have the help, things like that. But she's still bringing up the fact that the agreement was for a year or two. And
but
I
it's
feel
her
like her,
matrimonial home. Like it makes no sense because she's putting her family before her marriage. I will be very
right,
uncomfortable. Like if I'm putting myself in her husband's position, we just we're building our family and then you put in your entire family members in my house. I don't care. I'd rather hire helps. I'd rather bring like outside people because when we have arguments, you will have more backup. It's just very uncomfortable, especially when you are in like the early stages of your It doesn't make sense.
And then I feel like he's not feeling like he can actually be the man of the house like that because you have so many different people there. And because she does have her family, it's not like it's, those are his in laws, yes. But, when it comes to family, they will have your back quicker than they will have your spouses or, your partner. So he's kind of like, he's alone in this fight. And I
Exactly.
also feel like she is definitely trying to keep them there to so that she doesn't have to deal with certain issues that she's having in her marriage.
Yeah.
But that's
Well,
something that she's definitely going to have to deal with. And with the way her sister's acting, and for her brother-in-law
She
to
needs
quit
her
and all that
sister.
stuff, like,
Like that was very shady. Like I'm
yeah,
giving you a source of income, and because I'm like, you guys need to move out, you just quit. And it's very unprofessional because if I was to recommend it to somebody, how would I tell them why you left? Because she got mad at me, so you just left without any notice, nothing. So what if she had like a busy day that day? You just disappeared on her. Because this guy is a PA, so it's very important. That was
Yeah,
very
but Sonya's not professional. As far as being a boss, she's not professional. So I don't
yeah,
blame them. They move out and they leave, and that's it. Because it's hard when you have that type of relationship with your family. She expects them to be at her beck and call like 24 hours a day. That's what she expected from her brother-in-law and from her sister. So that's
and
good.
yeah.
wasn't
Do their thing and just let that be it.
and didn't
I
they
think that
speak about it
because
like last week that they wanted to leave? Her sister was speaking about how it was time for them to move out and how she was treating her husband as her assistant.
Yep.
So I really don't understand her sister's, I guess, anger at this point because you wanted to leave anyway.
Hmm.
Just leave.
that's why I feel like there's probably something we're not seeing that
Yes.
has been edited out,
Yeah.
because last week or last episode or so, it seemed like Sanya was the one trying to keep them there. They
Hmm.
did not want to be there. They wanted to leave. But it felt like Sanya was trying to keep them there. But all of a sudden, it doesn't make sense that all of a sudden she'll now be upset about when she was saying last week or a couple of weeks ago, whatever, whenever they filmed it, saying she wanted to leave, or it was time for them to leave. So something is not adding up. I think that there's
but if you
definitely
look at
more that
it
we're not seeing with the
another
editing.
way, when they leave, she would realize that, oh, I don't need them as much as. And most likely she will start acquiring help from outside the family. And once that happens, they are seeing their work flash before their eyes. So
I get what you're saying. But I don't know if it's necessarily that, because I don't think the sister was ever keen on her
have
husband
you
working
watched
for
their
her.
previous show? Her sister and her have
No, I
never
never
seen
watched the
eye to
previous show.
eye. They've always had this hate sister kind of relationship. So
Okay,
I'm
so you
always
have a
like,
background knowledge we don't have then, because I've not.
Mhm.
Well, I don't have anyway. I can't speak
Yeah, I
for other
never
people.
watched
so
this. I never watched
I've
their
never
own
that's
watched
why
show.
it.
I'm even
I
confused
didn't
that
even
the
know they
sister
had
was
one.
like very comfortable working for her. They've always not liked each other from like younger days. So and I think it's as
Mm.
a because the family left everybody and like focused on Sanya. This is the problem with when you have one sibling that is just so successful.
So they
Everybody
got some
focuses on that
underlying
person.
issues.
Okay, now I
Yeah,
see.
definitely some underlying issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's so obvious that there's a lot more that we're not seeing. There's a lot more that's happening behind the scenes. I wish they would, like, if you're going to show this, then give us more. Like, show us like what exactly is at the core of this, because not everyone has the background knowledge. We haven't all watched whatever that show is that I don't even know
And
about.
that's the
But
problem
yeah.
because if you watch Sanya's show, they were
Mm,
quite interesting. So I was very
Mm.
confused that I was really pumped about her coming to Real Housewives. But when she came here,
mm.
she just serving us nothing.
Do you
That's why
think it's
people
the
felt like she was
producers
a
then?
failure.
Do you think it's the producers that are not? Because sometimes what producers, like, if I the only example I can give is Love and Marriage, Huntsville, and the digital exclusive clips, right? The digital exclusive clips be better than the freaking show itself. So do you think
Every single
it's
time.
like something where the producers just don't know what it is that we want to see, and are like editing that out because it's not dramatic enough? I don't know.
I don't see. I don't. think they are editing it out. I just think she's not giving anything because at this point she's trying to fit into the Real Housewife narrative,
Mhm.
and she's trying to
Okay.
be like
Yeah.
messy and all those kind of things. In their show, what's the name? I keep forgetting the name of their show. They had like
Sanya.
you would see Sansa. Oh God, I think I need to check it out. When I'm done speaking, I'll check out the name. They had like you could see their family dynamic.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
also,
frozen.
I wonder how long the show was on for, because maybe that's why they decided to move in together for the show.
Mm.
And when the show was cancelled, it's now time for them to move out. Could it be that? Because if it was a family show, then I can imagine like having to wanting the whole family to be in the same under the same roof. But then now that the show is no longer going on, maybe
Yeah,
that's
but
why.
where did they all live? Because she said that she had them move to Atlanta, so evidently they were in another state, right? Now
Yeah,
I wonder,
they lived
was
in
the
Texas.
sister and the husband living with the mom and dad, and then they all just came, or was everybody living separately and decided to come live with Sonia? How did this all happen? I need more.
They've
I
all, I
need to
think,
know the
from
background.
what I can remember, they've all like been living together. Because she always says, "You guys are they're eating from our plates." So they've all worked for her. They've
Mm-hmm.
all contributed to her wealth. So it's more like Sonia is the family business herself. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I keep saying that people do not understand this sister's animosity. Yes, she wants her space, but she still wants to be around Sonia so that her sister will need her. That's why she's like, oh, if we leave, who's going to take care of their child? She made
Mm.
mention of that choice because she knows that once she leaves, they will have to obviously hire outside help. And then her sister will be like, oh, I could have done this a long time ago. And then she will
Mm-hmm.
start seeing the reason why she needs to hire people outside. Because when you hire people outside, they'll do their jobs and there'll be no like familiar feelings between you guys.
Okay, I
Yeah.
have information on her show. It was called Sanya's Glam and Gold. You can watch it now. It's on Pluto TV,
How
and
many seasons was it?
it was one season, 6 episodes.
Oh
What
wow.
year was it? So,
Back in 2013.
oh wow,
Oh,
that's
this was a
hot.
while ago.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was 10 years ago on the Pluto network. You know Pluto
Okay.
TV,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
and it's still on there.
It was a
okay.
hit show. That
It
was
was
why
Right.
just
people
the
thought she
one.
was going
It
to
was
come
just
here
the
and
one
deliver.
season, and if you blinked and didn't look, it was gone.
No, literally. I'd never even
So
heard of
I've never heard, but I think
no.
I've heard someone else reference her having a show in the past. But yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, on Real Housewives, she's very boring. I don't know. I'm
Hmm.
Yeah,
just,
I, I would
I need
agree.
She,
And
for
more.
her
what
to
I
make that comment, I've been the gift to the family, was like, damn. So no one else does anything?
and I can understand why there would be some, sibling rivalry from just that comment alone. Because who wants to hear that? Especially when you're living in her home and doing all those things for her and her children and her husband. Like that's crazy to say.
It's like they're contributing to the gift that you are, right?
Exactly.
Without them, there probably would not be you.
Right.
So it's like, and if you notice, they both said, so her mom and the sister said she's self-centered.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
But
like,
everybody's
wow.
Say
thinking
something
for
like that.
themselves. If we look at it, all of them are self-centered because they are all fighting for their own. I don't think anybody in that family is thinking about any like each other.
Yeah, they want their own independence.
Yeah, which I don't
But
blame.
But they
Sanya's
still
money.
want
And
to be
honestly, is
attached
that
to
really a
Sonya.
bad thing to have your own independence? Like,
No.
you need to
No,
have your
the
own
point is that they
independence.
are being
Mm-hmm.
hypocrites here. They say they want their own independence, and now the independence is staring at you right in the at your face,
Not
and you're
even
like,
said.
no, I still want to be with Sonya. So it's like, what exactly do you guys want? You want your independence, but you still want to be attached to your sister because obviously she's the one that opens door when people hear Sonya Richard Roth. She's the one with the money. She's the one with the connect. So if you want to be
But do you
independent, you
think
have
there's
to be
also
independent.
do you think there's also an emotional aspect to it where it's like, okay, you've lived with this person for so many years. You've taken care of their child, their family, and everything, and now you just feel like now they're practically telling you to leave, and you're just like, this is my family, and you just feel like you're walking out on that. Do you think there's like that her reaction was more emotional because she felt like, wow, I'm losing that level of closeness with my family?
She has
Honestly, she
never been
treated her
close.
like the
She has
hired
never
help.
been close. She's
She was
never been
acting like
close.
the hired help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm,
Mm.
If you read
sure.
the history of Sanya and her sister, you would know that they've never been close. They are more
Mm.
Mm,
like business associates.
Oh wow.
right.
Mm.
Mm. That
Yeah,
definitely
you can
explains
see
a
that
lot.
there's some displaced emotions with their it's something that's not connecting with them, and it could be the fact that we don't know how long Sonya's been throwing up the fact that she's been the gift and she's been the money maker and she's been this because as a sibling you can only take that so long for them making it seem like they are the best and they're if it wasn't for them nobody would have anything, and it's like girl, if it wasn't for us you wouldn't be able to do the things you're doing because we're here taking care of your home, just like her sister said. If it wasn't for us, like we're making your life easier. We're making it to where you and your husband can do things freely. So I
But
feel
the
like,
husband does
he's
not
probably
want
found that
them
up
to
too
be
much.
there. The thing
I
is
feel
that
the same way. Mm.
Sonia has actually so relied on her family that even if the family leaves, it's going to be hard for her. But the husband wants them out like yesterday.
Yeah, I
Because if
don't
they
blame.
want to make, because it's definitely impeding their sexual life as a couple. And as
Right.
much
He
as the
wants to
family
swing from the
wants them
chandelier.
together, it must really be affecting their sexual life. Because for you to not have a child, I'm like, oh, I need to have a child, I need to have a child. And you're like, he doesn't want them there.
And how is that really okay? You're talking about having a child with your husband, but you have all these people in the house. And plus, the way it seems like your work schedule is, you don't have time. You're going to have to do a Letitia schedule sex. Like, make this make sense, girl. Do you want to have a child and a family, or do you want to be, booked and busy all the time? Which one?
Booked
She
and
doesn't
busy.
Now,
want more kids. He does. She doesn't want to have
yeah,
children.
yeah, because it'll stop what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't mind because she really wants, like, she really wants to keep her husband. I'm like, oh, I'm the lady married to this fine man. Because if care is not taken, hmm, I'm not excusing cheating, obviously, but he may use that as an excuse to cheat.
Mm.
And all a man needs is for the wind to blow the right way to have an excuse to cheat.
Mm.
You
Hello.
thought it was blowing to the east, but it blew to the west, and now he's going to the south.
Mm-hmm.
So, listen, you might want to watch it because once you become too busy, trust and believe there's somebody that will
Not
willingly make themselves available.
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
But now I think we've ranted too much about Cyan. I just wish she can give us something, like something. I guess I was more of the cheerleaders of her coming to the show. But at this point, I think it would have been better for her not to come because it's sort of like ruined her image. I made her look like a liar and a fake person because that's all she has been giving us. And it's sad. Now, I don't know. Why do we need to be catfished every single time? When they showed us the preview to this charade scene last episode, they made it seem like she was trying for a child. And then the scene came up and it was like, why?
I already knew what the deal was. I already knew.
Sheree's eggs are powdered at this point.
That's what I
She's
was.
not having no kids.
Also, was it weird that the doctor said, "Oh, you've been trying"?
Like, what
What?
was that about? Like,
What
this
was
is
that
kid
Anybody
about? It
has to
sounds
say
tea.
like
that.
production or Sheree told her to say that. What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Never.
what was the lie about? Y'all seen my man? He's got that big
That
dick
big.
energy.
No,
I'm
he
like,
doesn't.
No, he does not.
Girl,
We're
He's got
about
the
to stop
energy of a turtle head.
with that sock in his drawers.
That was one of her leggings. That was a pair of her leggings that he tried to roll up real quick. The closest you getting to some she by Sheree.
She needs to
Here,
stop. We all know she is not. She is not having relations with that man. They need to
Mm-mm,
stop.
They need to stop.
That is not happening.
at
There's
Like
no
the
all.
fact that they are
chemistry
trying
between
to
them.
oversell it is just, oh, please.
Stop. I'm like,
Another pointless scene.
yes.
They had so many pointless things in this episode. I was like,
It was definitely a filler.
damn.
It has to be.
Yeah.
I think something must be happening next episode because this can't be it.
it has to be. And I'm gonna tell you, honey, you definitely ain't finna be having sex like that when you got fibroids the size of lemons.
Oh,
Mhm.
That shit's painful.
Yeah.
That's causing you to bleed. Come on, girl,
Mm, mm,
please.
Hmm.
mm.
Yeah, she's not.
Are you really? Who are, no, well, I guess Martell's little penis ain't touching nothing, so you know.
Ooh.
nothing.
I feel like his penis looks like y'all forgive me, but I feel like his penis looks like a clit. Like that's
Oh
the
Lord.
size it's given.
Mm.
Oh gosh.
That might be why they like each other, because I feel like Sheree like cat and he like eggplant, so put them
Hmm.
together, baby.
Match
They
made in
might as well
heaven.
deceive each other.
She look like
If he
she might
goes her
strap
eyes
one.
wide enough, she may think he's a woman with the way he behaves.
Mm-mm.
He is definitely a woman.
Mm-mm.
See, you know what's killing me? I thought Love and Marriage Hunting was boring, but then
Oh,
this season of Real Housewives,
It's taking the cake, baby.
at
this
least
is
I can
episode
watch
4.
Love and Marriage Huntsville without like complaining way too much. But this one,
Hmm.
I can't. I'm
Do you
sorry, I
think it's
can't.
also because we've seen so many seasons of Real Housewives and we have like a higher level of expectation that we have for Love and Marriage, Huntsville?
Something like that.
Could
Yeah.
be.
Or
Could be.
they need to
Hmm.
just go
I could
back to
agree.
the drawing, like they are
They
losing me, or they've
they
actually lost me.
no, yeah, they lost me for sure. They just need new people. It's time. New, younger, fresher faces. Because this is
Yeah,
just being
actual housewives or people that are
Or just
married.
bring back who people
Like,
want to be brought
yeah.
back.
Mhm.
yeah.
I can agree
If
with
you
both.
really, because I know Mocha is going to come for me. If they really want to keep Candy, because I know she's not bringing anything to the show currently, I'm going to say my mind. Candy's bringing
Hmm.
nothing to.
Mm-mm.
They can bring back the older ladies, like the ladies that legitimately made Real Housewife
Right.
what Real
Like
Housewife.
honestly, we know Nene needs to come back. Bring Nene. Bring her on
We
back. Regardless
We
of all
know.
the stuff she was going, y'all could say she was drama filled. Y'all could say she was messy, but honey, she was the
We need
show.
somebody
she made the
funny. We
show.
need
We,
like,
we
We
oh,
need Portia.
everybody wants Nene, but Nene's not good. They're not going to bring Nene back
Yeah,
because of the
no,
whole
she's not.
law. They're not. But
are,
I
are
would
they
love for
purposely
Nene to come back.
sabotaging Real Housewives of Atlanta? Because at this point, it's looking like they're really sabotaging it. Because this episode was a filler.
Yes.
Yeah. They need to bring Portia because at least Portia was like funny and she brought like
Yeah.
a lightheartedness to the show. She
Yeah.
could kick it with anyone. At least would have gotten some, I don't know, some comedy from this whole episode. Like this whole season, there hasn't been a point where I was like, oh, that is funny. Like in the whole season, and it's 4 episodes in.
Right. I
So
have questioned every season. I have questioned, well, every episode. I'm like, why is this person here? What is the
yeah,
point of them being on the show? Like, who are you? Like Courtney.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Just take her
Oh,
off. Just
God.
go.
She is so annoying. She
And
really
very.
is just so annoying.
And
And I'm
Monietta,
sorry,
she's
her baby
cool.
daddy, honey, in the '90s, he was fine
Oh,
as ooh, he
yes.
was fine. Now, honey,
Yes.
I didn't even know that was him until they did the throwback. I said, well, shit. All
I
right.
wonder what
He
happened
was
to him.
fine.
He was.
He looked
Did he
like
ever
he
get
been
cut?
stressing him the hell out. He's stressed.
He
Maybe
looked
that's
good
why
back
she
in
still
the
keeps
day.
his contacts.
He looked
Mm,
good back in the day. That right there.
very good.
Wait, but Kenya, when Kenya looked at him and on that phone call, I was done. Kenya,
Did y'all
oh,
see Sheree's face? Sheree was looking like, oh, why would you, how
This
could you
girl got
talk to him?
embarrassing me. That's
Kenya
how
was so
Sheree is.
phony. I was like, oh my god.
It was very embarrassing to say the least.
Mm,
But
mm,
guys, now let's talk about Malu. Because to be honest, Malu was the highlight of this episode.
Mhm.
Why does she keep blaming Candy? Okay, so Malu talks to Courtney and she starts talking again about this cousin that got shot. May he so
Mhm.
rest in peace. But girl, it's 2 years. 2 years. And then she says, why does Candy keep having shootings? And I'm like, shootings? What shootings? Your cousin legit has nothing to do with Candy. And I
right.
get it that yes, you wanted Candy to like extend some sympathy or empathy towards you because yes, it was a previous like worker in our establishment. But you didn't get it. I think people need to understand that you should stop expecting things from people. Most people would just like,
Exactly.
you've left me, so I don't need to even care for you anymore. So I don't know why she's so bent on blaming Candy. And then she's like, oh, I thought Candy was going to reach out to help me expunge my. I was like, come on, girl.
And my thing is, if you were so bothered about this incident with your nephew and all of that, right? Why didn't you bring it up to Candy last season? Why is it that now it is your storyline all of a sudden?
Right.
I
Mm.
think it's only an excuse because she wants Candy to talk about the alleged shooting that happened recently.
I
I think
find
that
that so disrespectful. Why would you want her to keep bringing that up? And she's going through legal battles with this. This is
Mhm.
an open case. Like, no. And then you got mad because Drew didn't say the word shooting.
Shooting.
That was
Okay.
craziness.
That
and
was just
what
a way for her to find a reason to have something to be mad about. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's what she's doing with Candy. She's trying to associate her nephew with Candy because he used to work there, even though at the time of the shooting when he was killed, he wasn't working there.
No,
The
and she's
person who was his roommate was not working there. They
right.
weren't in that restaurant. So how is Candy associated with that? And then you say, "Oh well, on his obituary, he had his chef uniform on, and
So
he that was when he was in the
proud. Who
kitchen."
cares?
Okay,
That's the photo that they picked to put him in because probably they couldn't have find any other photos that
Because
were
that's his
full
greatest
faced or whatever.
achievement.
right.
Yeah, that's probably why she's mad because they probably figure, oh, Candy will probably pay for the funeral and give money, and she didn't. And then listen, if someone
Exactly.
away or if that happens, you can't. People do whatever they want to do. Marlo, you have been trashing Candy for years. Why should Candy go and expect and extend any part of grace to you or your family? She doesn't have to.
Mhm.
No matter how much money she has, she doesn't have to. She did what she wanted to. I'm quite sure she stands by whatever she says, and Marlo needs to get over it. Plus, as far as the shootings, they're in Atlanta. They're in a big city. The place
Mhm.
caters to mostly black. They cater to a lot of black people. Sometimes
Right.
people come around. They have guns or whatever. It depends on what the neighborhood is. That's stuff that happens. I mean, what can Candy do? What can she do?
Was she
The
supposed to
shootings
collect the
that happen.
gun?
The shootings that happen have not happened in her establishment. It's been outside or whatever. So Marlo needs to stop with her freaking reaching at all. She
I
needs
feel
to
like in a
stop.
way that was like her way of being
I can't
proud
hear you.
of. Oh, my bad.
You hear
You are
me?
low.
I'm
Your
sorry.
voice is low. Okay.
you sound quite far away.
Can you hear me
We
now?
can hear you
Yep,
now.
we can
Yes,
hear
we
you.
can.
That was that Regina that was talking. I couldn't hear you. I can't hear you.
No,
Oh,
that
it
was
was
me.
me, but I had actually gotten a phone call. So
Oh, okay.
Apologies. But
Wait a minute.
hold on. Go ahead,
No,
talk. I'm
Regina
sorry.
is
Go ahead.
speaking.
Regina is speaking. I can't hear her. Can you hear her? Okay.
No,
No,
she's
that was
quite
Gigi.
low.
She got a call, but I was just saying that I feel like Marlo wants a reaction out of Candy that she's just never gonna get. So because she's not getting that reaction, she's trying to dig out and fish for Candy to bring all of her non or not even nonsense, but everybody says that sometimes Candy doesn't have a storyline. So she wants Candy to talk about her dirt. And you can't force her to talk about the dirt because, like Todd and Candy said in the last episode, like it's an ongoing situation. It's like legal right now. They can't speak on it. And I just thought it was crazy that she was so mad at Drew for not saying the actual word shot or a shooting.
Mhm.
It's just like Marlo, she doesn't have a storyline, in my opinion. And because she doesn't have that storyline, she's digging and she's going to
Her
keep digging
storyline is to
until
be a professional victim.
right. So yeah, she just doesn't have a storyline and she's digging for something to be mad about because she's always mad and angry.
Mhm.
Maybe she
Always.
needs to get a man or something. Because
Let her tell
maybe
her
get
she
our
has
own Mattel. Because like
right.
I don't know what's
But
funny.
is
At this
Martell a
point, I'm
man
starting to
though?
think. I'm starting to.
Barely.
Yeah, they definitely will not bring Nini back. But they
Unfortunately.
can actually. Do you know they can actually coin another show with the OG ladies? Because
They should.
I don't think they're bringing Kim back either. But they
Mm-hmm.
can give them a new show.
She
Right. Give him a new show and call it Peachtree. I don't care.
yeah.
Something.
Ah, this is really
Nene,
interesting.
Portia,
God.
Phaedra, a couple others, but this ain't it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think they'll probably go on a break after this season because it's looking that way. And I
Hmm.
heard that they are having casting issues. If they're having casting issues, why can't you just bring the others back?
Right. And then didn't you say there's like 20 something episodes left? Huh?
Wait, what?
It's
Uh,
23 episodes. Let me check if
we're going to be
it's 23
subjected to this for
episodes.
another how many episodes? My
So right,
goodness.
how many episodes of this do we have to deal with? Because this is not it. If this is what we have to look forward to, cut it off now, cancel the show, and
Yeah.
just let us know that y'all made
Do
a
you know what
mistake.
they can actually do? They can cut it to like 12 episodes, then take
Mhm.
a break for further shooting. Because at this point, maybe fake some drama, fake at this point, I don't even mind if they get to fight each other. Like do something. Like
No, but Bravo doesn't like to take a break. They like
Hmm.
seasons to go straight through.
okay, I think it's 16 episodes from what I'm
16.
seeing.
16,
16
Six,
23.
like 16 total or 16 left?
16 episodes because I'm seeing
Okay.
episode 15.16. So we have 16 episodes. So 12
Mm,
more to go.
okay. So 12 more of this. What can actually happen in 12 episodes from what
I
we're
bet the
seeing?
ratings will fall further. Uh-uh.
I don't know. Fake some storylines. We need something. Oh,
I'm telling you, fake the storyline. I
at this point, y'all need to figure out something because I feel like y'all are grabbing people. A lot of times they'll grab people because they have a certain amount of followers. So it's like, oh, we're going to bring you on the show because we feel like you could bring in viewers, and it's like, no, these people don't even have a real life. Do y'all not know Instagram is not real like that? A lot of these people be faking it on these, on social media and stuff, or certain things that
buying
you might
followers.
see,
Litarina, wasn't she exposed for buying followers, buying likes, buying comments?
right?
This, right.
But yeah, they need to do something. I don't know. Production. Do y'all need to be fired and do some rehires because
No, I
it.
think they're doing this on purpose so they can just scrap the entire cast. Look at what they're doing with New York. They brought fresh
Mhm.
new people, fresh people. Probably that's what they're doing. I hope. But let's talk about the last part of the episode, the trip. First of all, Kenya says they're going on a trip. deceives these ladies. There's some high kind of like the way she described it. I was expecting something better. Then you go for a cocktail party where they are standing. Malu had to even order the drink with the light for them to even have something to get on. And then they sent them out of the charity. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't understand why they sent them out. This was a
Yeah.
charity event, and they
Mm-hmm.
were making noise, taking drinks with the whole lighting. It's like distracting people. Because people are like, oh, is that not Kenya Moore? Is that not Shireen? The dude that was telling Shireen, let me take a picture with you. I'll be very uncomfortable. So they sent them
Yeah.
out, and then Kenya goes to her room, locks herself. I think she locked herself because of embarrassment, because that thing was not it.
I think they kicked them out because like I said earlier, the people may not be fans of the show, don't watch the show, don't care about the show, and the other people that knows whenever they see them in the group, there's always chaos and there's an issue. They're there for a scholarship, cocktail, whatever, to raise money. They didn't want them in there with their drama, and that's what that was. They because they know when they get together, they start acting up. So they just wanted them out of there.
In my opinion, I feel that they didn't even know production was going to be there.
Yeah.
They might have invited Kenya more,
Mm-hmm.
but they
Mm-hmm.
didn't invite Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So with the cameras coming in and like they said, the cameras, the flashing, everything was taken off of the event because people were paying more attention to them and what was going on with the cameras instead of what the event was actually supposed to be about.
Yep.
But
It
yeah,
was
They
too
should
much
have
I feel like
invited
promotion.
them.
I don't feel
They
like Kenya had
knew that
any of this
Kenya was
really
going
planned
to
out.
bring friends. It's not Kenya because she was invited. And they knew she was going to bring the ladies of Real Housewives. That was
Mm-hmm.
very tacky on the event planners on their own because the least they could have said was, you guys are being too loud, so tone it down. Maybe go stay in the corner, and when it's time for you to come out, you come out. Because you can't invite me for something and then you are chasing me out as if I'm some beggar.
Yeah, they should have
Yeah,
kept
they
them
could
in
have.
a separate room away from like
Hmm.
public view. And then
Hmm.
if there was opportunity for Kenya to come out and do whatever she needs to do, then they can bring her out. And then at the end, she and the others can come out and just say thank you to people for the event and take photos at that stage. I think they should have managed it a lot better.
Yeah.
I also think I struggle with the fact that I feel like production they must have known production was coming because we wouldn't have even gotten any footage from this if they didn't know to an extent that production was coming. And so that's just my view on that.
Yeah, so it's like,
I agree with that. They
why
definitely
all
should have
that?
been in a different room.
You just
They should have kept
embarrass
them
these
separately.
ladies for no reason. Like for
But
no
like I
reason at all.
yeah, but like I said earlier, they could have gone in. Kenya could have just stayed for. They could have stayed for a little while and left. Made an appearance and everything, and then just gone.
Or for that event, if it was, like I said, Kenya should have, I feel like there should have been more, you know, she should have inquired more. Like you should have definitely known how the event was going to be, how it was the previous year, what they expect, anything, because it just seemed like all of it was, she didn't know. The
Mm-hmm.
dress code wasn't like that. How she was trying to, push it off to these ladies, like, you have to be this, you have to be that. And you get there
It was so
and
unnecessary.
it was not that. It was very unnecessary the way she was coming. But I agree with you, review. I feel like they should have kept them in a separate room, let them film there away from everybody. Kenya, you come out, make your presence known, do a walkthrough. If you're going to talk, say what you're going to say, and then you go back in there with the ladies. Or you
Mm-hmm.
come first. Let the ladies stay at the hotel, get ready, do whatever y'all going to do.
Mm-hmm.
When you're done with this event, then y'all leave and go somewhere where y'all can actually have fun, where it's actually, something that y'all all can enjoy and you don't have to worry about being kicked out of an event that, honey, I'd have been embarrassed to be kicked out of there.
Right.
I
I mean,
know.
I'd be
I will
embarrassed to be
not
kicked out
go
of
and
anywhere, but like that?
That was very, very, very.
Yeah, but I agree. Kenya
I
should
would
have
not
did
go
her.
out for a week.
That was probably
Mhm.
why Kenya was hiding in a room. Who wouldn't be hiding after that? Like,
Right,
to organize
embarrassed.
that. Yeah, and also like I felt like even at that she should have been more communicative with the people that she brought. Like if you're the host and something has changed and all of that has happened, at least give them some context. It is they just got kicked out of an event. Everyone wants an explanation. So I think at the very least she should have said, okay, we're getting kicked out. I'm so sorry. I think it's this. This is what they've said. Let's just go home, and maybe tomorrow we'll have a better day. Something like that. That's what a host does. You take ownership of whatever issues have arisen as a result of whatever happens, even if it's out of your control. You still take ownership for it because you're the host. But instead, it sounded like she was just like, "Let's just all go home," and then everyone went home, and then everyone is still confused, like, "What the hell happened?"
And she did not say anything
And
to
she did
them.
not say anything. She's
I
definitely very avoidant when it comes to conflict.
definitely would have did it a little bit differently. Like, okay, we got kicked out of here, but we done got dressed up. We looking
Let's
good.
go out.
We gonna we gonna
They
go
could
do
have
something
actually gone to
else.
the club or something after.
We are about to get down, cut a rug. We finna cut up now. Oh, now we done left what was supposed to be bougie, elegant, all that. We done left from there. So now we gonna let our hair down. We gonna cut up. We finna, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have fun now. Like do something to try to take their mind off of what just happened. Now you've given them enough time to simmer on this.
Yeah.
They're sitting there soaking it all in, like, and all the questions are coming. Everybody's upset because all the rest of the ladies were sitting down in the lobby like, well, damn, what else we gonna do?
But
While Kenya's up in the bedroom, looked like she done took off her makeup, her clothes.
she
Was
She
she
probably
was
wanted to
done.
spend
packing?
time with Brooklyn. She probably wanted to be with Brooklyn too.
But
So
that
that's
makes no
probably why.
sense. Like, that's not an excuse. Okay, my own point of view was that them going, banging the door after she said, Brooklyn, my daughter is here, they could have stopped.
Mm-hmm.
But Kenya, you can't bring me on a trip. It's just like you promise me heaven and earth, then I come and you're like giving me some piece of standard and you just expect me to be comfortable with that. An explanation would have done. I'm sorry for what happened. You guys go back to your room. My daughter is around. Then we'll probably go out tomorrow, go watch the game that we came for. And it's like, you just nobody can understand. And at that point in time, those ladies were actually working with emotions. That's why actually agree with Patricia George. Nobody was right. None of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the onus fell on Kenya to take care of the people she invited.
Mm-hmm.
She should have taken care of them, and they should have acted like parents because all of them are parents.
No, definitely. It could have been handled a lot differently. And honestly, with the attitude and the way Marlo already is, that right there just added fuel to her fire. That just gave her ammunition to like talk stuff like she did. She
Did you
wanted to
see
compare
what
how
she
her
called?
event
Did you
was.
see what she called this lady after the show? She
What,
said,
Kenya in the
let me let
city?
me let me show it. She said something
Oh, you talking about?
Oh, after, what you think?
after the show. She said she had gutter behavior. This is Kenya avoiding the part she played. She kept retweeting things that were really bashing the women. She did not take any form to date. She has not taken any form of acceptance for what she did, like any responsibility for the part she played. She has not accepted it. She just wants people to only see the fact that, oh, they were banging on my door.
But
I
are
will
we
never go
surprised?
for
Where
She
any
was
never
the
event.
really takes
explanation, though?
accountability. She never really takes accountability. Even I know I'm going back to this trip, the one of the old trips that she planned, and it was a disaster. She couldn't even get food for the ladies. I don't know if you guys
That was when
remember.
they went to South Carolina.
Did she have her
Exactly.
daughter on that trip
Yes,
too?
she did.
Yeah, she
Exactly.
always
And
used
that
that
was
as an
and that was
excuse.
our excuse the whole
Yep,
time, right? She didn't take
yep.
any
She
accountability.
probably said,
She did
bring Brooklyn quickly, bring.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was like no accountability whatsoever. To this day, it was not even like at the reunion, It wasn't like she was like, oh yeah, there was no accountability whatsoever. So I'm not surprised that she's not taking accountability here. I think when it comes to Kenya, she does not see her part. All she sees is what the other person has done.
And why
And
she's
so
like,
I don't think she's going to. I think it's going to happen again on our next trip again, whatever it is that she plans for
And
us or
then
for them.
Candy has her famous line for that Kenya and that one crab cake. She said,
Yeah.
but
Mm-mm.
listen, did you guys see Monietta and Marlo going at it?
Woo!
Wait,
Mm.
let me show you.
Sorry, Malu was wrong. She nearly
Yes,
banged the door at that lady's face
yeah, that was
yes,
disrespectful.
because she
Yes.
was not the only one that was mad. All the ladies were pissed off. So why must your anger be more than mine? Because we all experienced the same thing. So
Yes. Like,
why
how
did
dare
you
you
want to
slam
like
the door
slam
in
the
my
door on
face?
me?
If I
Y'all see
did that,
Sheree follow suit right behind her and kick the door too, and then run off like a kid.
Cause Sheree is a follower.
she is.
But when it comes this whole Kenya thing, y'all hold on. If y'all noticed when she was packing and she had that girl come in, I guess it was her assistant or babysitter, whatever.
That's an
Mhm.
assistant.
He let her know. Basically, you gonna have to be there with Brooklyn because me and the girls are going out.
hmm
Mhm.
So why couldn't she have kept Brooklyn while you and the girls went out to make up for the disaster that happened at this event?
Because she doesn't want to
But that
bring
was
up
the excuse
something.
she always uses. She uses that, her baby as an excuse to not have to, own up to what's going on or even discuss it. Like, that's a quick shutdown for her. Like, no, I can't. Brooklyn's around. We can't do this because no. And
To be
I'm
fair,
just
I don't know if you guys, I've seen like a lot of chatter about this on the internet where parents say they always use their children as like excuses, like, oh, I can't do this, my child, I have my child this week, I can't do, I think that's really what it is. It's almost
Mm-hmm.
for every bad behavior. Oh my god, I can't. It's my, of course my baby is here.
Right.
It's, yes, it's your behavior is terrible regardless of whether or not Brooklyn is there. Like, don't do that. You're the host. You need to
But do you
communicate
know that we skipped the
brought.
conversation between when they were in the restaurant?
Oh yeah.
In this situation, both of them were still wrong too. Because why is Kenya discussing what Drew told her to Malu without Drew being there? Because we know when rumors spread, by the time it gets to someone else, it has changed. Because she said Drew told her that Malu was all over her. But that was towards the ending. But yes, she was being aggressive, but initially she was sitting down, but then she started screaming and screaming. But she should have not discussed that with Marlo without Drew being there. And then Marlo, for God's sake, if it was someone else's problem that they were discussing, Marlo would really put her mouth into this situation. But whenever it's her problem, she's like, oh, I'm not talking about this. I'm not talking about this. I'm not talking about this. She gets so defensive, and I don't know why.
And also, did you guys pick up about like when production showed the playback? They didn't even show
That
where
was very annoying.
standing. I know they are being disingenuous and trying to help Marlo, in my opinion, clean up her act.
hmm
Why did they show Marlo in Drew's face, standing over her? That is aggressive, And then for them to then make it seem like, oh, and then point Marlo sitting. Are you serious? Like, we didn't see it at the last episode. Oh, you think we've
right,
forgotten? Like, what
right.
is wrong with people? I could
They
not believe
really
it. Production will come up with that and then put that clip there like she didn't stand in that girl's face.
Yep,
It was the
Like,
audacity to even
she did
do it.
stand in her face and scream at her. When
right.
yeah.
You was and before you walked out that door, we seen it with our own eyes. Remember, there was a previous episode before this one. That's what I don't get. Do they not like y'all don't understand that this is recorded, right? Like we can see this. We can go back and see this.
I think it's because they're cutting clips and just putting clips and moving them around at this point. That is what is given, because I don't understand how they would think
They
that
need
we
to cut
forgot.
the next 3 episodes if this is what we're going to suffer through. Because
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, these episodes are giving me college project. Like these are some college kids who are doing this for a credit, and they are just like paste clip. Like I don't know what in the world is going on because we can clearly see that the scenes are adding up. The conversations, there's a lot missing, so you're only getting like bits and pieces and snippets, and it's like, what in the hell is this whole episode even about? What was the point of
I
it?
feel like they're starting to catfish us the way Love and Marriage Huntsville does. With
at this
no, I'm
point, maybe they
serious.
need a little Tiffany to come and cause a little bit of problem because
Perhaps because it's like every time they do the previews, you really be thinking like, oh, this is what's gonna happen, and then you see the
people
real thing,
were
and you're
really
like,
coming at Sheree last episode only for the scene to air, and I was like, I felt like a fool.
yeah, it's like seriously, why are they doing this? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe Carlos is the one editing for them now. Who knows? Like I have
With the
no clue.
way he goes hard, I
He
won't
goes
trust.
so hard for Real Housewives of Atlanta, but don't post a thing about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Like,
He's
where is
giving
that
them
energy at for
so
your
much
own show?
advice, but his show is tanking.
He must still be
Yep.
getting some sort of financial benefit from them. Then, in my opinion, allegedly.
I don't
Do you
know. Because
do you
he,
know how
no,
much he'll be making from YouTube? He gets nothing less than 10,000 views.
Mm.
So that's
but
like maybe
you're this
making
big time
about
production,
2K per video.
Mm.
And he has like 166. So that's like 166K.
so yeah, he's definitely making more off of YouTube than what he is being a producer, it seems. Because, okay, you have a syndicated show because of Melody Cherie, in my opinion, but your show has been syndicated. And you're telling me that you would rather, instead of continue to produce or continue to, elevate on your production, you want to go to YouTube? All right. Okay. What you
He will
gonna try
never
to
catch
produce?
Andy doing what he's doing. And we all know that own TV doesn't pay anything. So
Listen, this is next. You know he's gonna have a charity and a foundation that he gonna start and try to get us to pay for
hey,
too.
Kata babe,
Did we
you
already
do
talk
have
about how Kenya was on the phone with Courtney's baby daddy? And she was like,
please
yeah, he used to be fine in the 90s. And that's all I'm going to
don't
say.
remind me of that. It was
Is
oh
he a mess now or something? I don't know what he looks like now.
Have
Oh,
you?
he
You
looks
didn't
so.
hold on. Go look.
Last week,
Right, I was about
Cuz
to say, go look at him from last week, and if you compare to what he looked like in the '90s, you like, that is not. Because when I saw him, I was
uh-huh.
like, oh, that's her baby daddy. But then when they said who he was, I was like,
Cuz
who
I
the fuck?
and
Now this is what you call a catfish.
Oh Lord.
she's still all up under him.
She is.
Like, what is
Has
that?
he probably still got that '90s money?
Mhm.
Well, I think he's a producer and whatnot, maybe a songwriter and stuff now.
It's possible, but he was fine in the '90s. Oh, he was so fine. He was.
I
Now
know
he just looks stressed. His hair receding. Oof.
Been
because he
on
was just in that movie Beauty Shop, but that wasn't that long ago. Oh.
Okay, so if you right,
It's the oh.
oh,
He does look a little different. Oh my gosh. No, he
he
was
just
fine
look
in the
like
night.
any old Pookie and Ray walking
uh, so yeah. So remember him in Barbershop? Now that was early 2000s.
True. True. This is true.
Now he does not look like the same person.
around.
Mm-mm, he doesn't. Yeah, he looks stressed.
Yeah,
It
He
has
is
to be.
stressing him out. Now,
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell you, Courtney looks young as shit because her daughter damn near looks older than her.
Yeah, she does look
Yeah,
young.
she
Even
does
though she
look
messy,
young.
she looks young.
Yeah, I guess. As long as you stressing other folks out, it keeps your stress level down, evidently.
Right.
'Cause
Because
she looked like she
definitely
done
with
stressed
Drew.
that man out to retirement, honey.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Ooh, she done took all of the good, the just the
All the
whew,
youthfulness up out of him.
all of it. Poor baby can't even have braids no more because his hair won't even grow.
Right.
He said,
Oh
forget
God.
it.
That is a shame.
Mm-mm. Yeah, is that why she's not dating? Because they asked if she was dating. She's like, it's complicated.
She's still dating him. She never broke up with him. They're just not exclusive.
Official or something exclusive. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's what.
Right.
Because why is he calling her randomly as well?
right.
Like,
When
Exactly.
you
Like,
gonna be home?
do your ex
yeah.
call you like that?
And I'm
Mm-mm.
like, it's not like you guys have a little kid together. Like, and he has
Exactly.
the
Right.
kids.
That's how Marcel should be calling Letitia. Not, not.
Right. They have little children.
Right. But
Mm.
remember, her husband don't know where she's at.
And she
And she
doesn't
doesn't
know
know
where
where
he
he's
is.
at
She don't know where he at
24/7.
either. Oh gosh.
Right. Because she knows that he's with every beauty shop owner and
Mm-hmm.
But she did. She's the only one looking young in the whole relationship.
Yeah, so
but
she
she
must
is
have.
stressing everybody out. Watch, all her friends around her gonna start looking old because she just looked like she stressed them out too.
Even Candy
Right.
started looking old after dealing with her for 2 episodes.
Mm-mm.
Poor
Also, did
thing.
you guys miss Candy and Drew this episode? Because they didn't show them at all.
They
Or
don't have
did you
Mm-mm.
guys
anything to bring to the
miss?
show. So
Didn't
I
Yeah,
even
didn't miss
notice.
them.
I did miss them.
I
Say
didn't
that again?
miss them because they have
Mm.
no storyline either. Before
Mm-mm.
Drew's storyline would set in, it would be like further into the season. So I didn't miss them at all.
I feel like it would have been more of a storyline, especially if Drew was there with the incident that happened, you know, on last week's episode.
Oh,
If
right, with
if
Marlo.
Marlo and her could have addressed that, you
Yeah.
know, while Kenya was there, instead of Kenya, assuming and speculating and all that other stuff, or even going off what Drew said. Drew could have been there to address that herself,
Yeah.
find out what was really going on, and I feel like that would have brought more to the show. That would have brought more
I
to the
agree.
episode.
Drew is
I
not
agree.
that confrontational.
She might not be, but still, you can be non-confrontational and still address a situation that involves you.
But to be fair, I feel like the ladies would have forced her to address it anyway. So even if she's not trying to be confrontational, I think we'll still get like a scene of like conflicts between them where she would have to
Mm-hmm.
address it anyway. So I think if she was there, it would have probably helped at least create some conversations. We'll probably have more to talk about if she was there, at least between her and Marlo, I think.
They're trying to
But
they're trying to save that for other episodes just to have something. I feel because they have to pick and choose what happens.
They need to go back,
Yeah.
yeah,
re-edit everything, and shrink the season to 10 episodes.
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. It's and you said it was 16 episodes. I
It's
don't think we have.
10.
Okay, yeah, we don't have that
And
much.
Oh,
To-
Jesus.
I thought these housewives are saying,
16 is
"Oh, this
a
season is so
lot.
good."
It's
I
a
yes.
thought they were
lot.
saying this season was so good. Like good where? I'm so
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
It's not gonna
12
be good.
episodes left
Yeah.
of
It just felt
what?
like I was watching Real Housewife of Salt Lake City again. Last season was shit.
It.
Mm.
It was terrible. That's why they
Like
had to bring Mary. That's why they had to bring Mary back.
Yeah,
Mary left the
they
show,
do need Mary back
bashed
on that
the
show.
show. So if they can bring Mary back, why can't they bring Nini? Because Mary bashed the living hell out of that show. So,
did she accuse them of being racist?
oh, there's nothing that this woman did not accuse them of.
Oh,
Um,
No,
okay, In that case, then I don't know. Maybe people need to
Yeah, they
sleep.
brought back Mary. Bring back the people that we really want to see because Candy's story has outlived its usefulness. Marlo's story is hating Candy. Courtney is just
Non-existent.
existing and sounding like a bird.
Mm-hmm.
Sanya is there. Kenya is there. Like, who
Yeah.
else?
I think this
Drew
season
has a
we have filler
storyline, but
cast. I think this season we only have filler cast mates.
Yeah.
Like they're just
Yeah.
there to just fill in the blanks. We don't have any solid person that is giving us the storyline. We know Drew's storyline will kick in later on in the season, but before then, we have nothing.
It's
Yeah.
crazy that Sheree is the one that's really holding the title as the one with the most quote unquote storyline because she
storyline.
then brought in Martell
They
and
need to
she's
bring Mattel every single episode at this rate. Cause
But the thing about it is that storyline has already fallen to shit online before the
yeah,
season is even over, before it's really even gotten good.
yeah,
It's already that storyline has already tanked.
because that
So
relationship
Also,
is
they're
I
not
don't.
interesting enough. Like Mattel and Cherie, they're not interesting enough to hold our attention. Like if
Mm-mm.
and
Mattel
they
and
don't make it
Kenya
look
were a couple, then would probably be more interested. They would probably be able
exact.
to balance each other quite well. Sheree is boring. I've never ever really thought she was a good addition to Real Housewives to begin with, right?
She
I never
just
thought she was exceptional in any way from day one. But even looking at her now, it's worse. I think she's like a good person to bounce off someone else, right? So when Nini was there, she'd bounce off Nini quite well, right? But now that Nini is no longer there, I feel like she's attached herself to Marlo. Marlo is so negative, so now she's also negative Nancy.
yeah, exactly. That was my point. She's more so in the past like a supporting cast opposed to being
Mm.
leading lady. And now,
that's why they keep firing her.
right?
Yep.
Right. She's
Most
gonna be
fired
fired this
housewife,
season
isn't she?
too.
I think she's the most fired housewife, isn't she?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think she's the most divorced housewife too.
Mm.
Oh, how many times has she been divorced?
Divorced, single, like she done gotten more
Let me
relationships and
search.
broke up than all of them.
Yeah, just about.
How many
Mm.
times?
How many fake relationships is she going to play out on this show? Her last relationship was already called out, or the one where she was paying for it, the paid relationship. You was
Hello?
already called out on that. Now you doing the same thing with Martell.
They got to make
Because
it a little more believable.
She
it
clearly doesn't learn. She doesn't learn.
Right.
was called out on Bravo. The relationship didn't look right, and then you go to Love and Marriage Huntsville, and you was called out again because Kimmy definitely
Okay,
let it
it's
be known
not.
that looked like a business arrangement, and that's
Hmm.
exactly what they. That's how it is. But they are
In a
so
way, I
slow that they can't even fake the storyline to make it look real.
yeah,
And
no, they
Kenya's
can't.
Manti is also looking like another Mattel story.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hmm.
100%.
Because
Did you
it's
guys feel like it
only,
was weird for Monietta to get a call from her Kenya's so-called man as opposed to
that's
Kenya
why I
getting
said
a
it's
call?
production.
Well, I
Mm.
know they're good.
Yeah.
They were good friends, and she introduced them.
Hmm.
I
Mm.
mean, I
But
don't know
even
why
at
I did it
that,
her though,
I
but
just
but
even at
remembered
that,
something. Do you know
Kenya.
that they were,
Mhm.
why wasn't Mattel there? Our excuse was that he had the child, he had the children, or
Hmm.
he
Mhm.
has had the children and has gone to Atlanta before. So why didn't, just gonna say,
Right.
Mm.
that excuse made no
Yeah.
And
sense.
Culture Bay, you right, because Kenya, yep, Kenya's another one. They quick to have a fake relationship ended, and y'all are the most unhousewived housewives on the show.
Right. Who's
And that's
married
why,
besides
because they
Sanya?
do not have a storyline within their own selves and family. That's why it's like we cannot, there's no substance.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, yeah. There's definitely some changes that need to be made, but we know it's not gonna happen.
Right.
Mm.
I feel like it's really just a time filler. They are just trying to fill the slot, put whatever they can to fill that time when it comes, and that's it.
They could
They
have
don't
actually
really care
taken
about
a
this show
year
too much
break.
no more.
Nobody. It's
You can
just
actually tell
leading
by the other
to
shows that they
politics.
have.
See the amount of PR that they're putting on Vanderpumps, the amount of PR that they're putting on Potomac, New York,
Right,
Summer House. Come on.
Right. They
right,
just gave Real Housewives of Atlanta a decent photo shoot for the
Hello,
beginning of
hey,
the season.
hey. Yeah, they do need marriage.
right. They're not doing this show they're not doing it justice because they
Mm-mm.
really don't care. This
Mhm.
is like
They
this
want
is
it
their
to
way of
feel so
kind of
that they are
ending the
forced
show.
to recast.
Right.
They want it to feel so they are forced to recast. That's the
Hmm.
only logical explanation I can give right now. But
I feel
Pretty.
like they're wanting to actually cancel out Atlanta, but they can't because Atlanta is basically, you know what I'm saying? It
what
started it,
made Real Housewives?
Mm-hmm.
but they need to recast. So what they're going to do is they're going to try to make the show really where nobody really wants to too much watch it, but they're going to get too much pushback on that. So they're going to be forced to recast.
Yeah.
It's coming because
Yeah.
this right here, mm-mm.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like production know what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. They're gonna get the pushback, then they're gonna have low ratings, and then they're gonna have to recast. And then boom, we got a whole new show.
Please,
Honestly,
they
I
need
want to see
to.
Marlo go through therapy. The life coach, cool. That's cool.
She's
Yeah.
going through
But I
therapy,
feel
right?
like there's some other stuff that you need to work with because expunging your record ain't gonna be the end of it.
But I feel
There's
like she
more work that
should
you're gonna have to
even
do
be
with
the
yourself.
last person that they should accept. Because the lady she did that to, didn't she commit suicide?
I don't know. I know she passed away, sometime after that happened.
Yeah.
Recently, I think she committed suicide.
Allegedly, yeah, she allegedly did.
Yeah.
So I
Mm.
don't know why she's bothered about her image when she's crazy.
Right.
Mm.
And it doesn't matter how long ago that happened. That's somebody's somebody's something with sister, aunt, mom, loved one is not coming back. And it
Mhm.
could have been from could have been a result of what happened, allegedly. Don't know. But like, I don't know, Marlo's image, she needs to worry about more than just what paper says and what it says, in law. She needs to really work on herself. That's why I said therapy. I need to see her, talk about going to therapy, talk about trying to work on yourself more because what she's doing, that's not working on yourself. You're still causing
But then
conflict for no
she would
reason.
not be able to act like a victim.
Mm.
Mm, yeah.
Because at some point the excuses are going to run out.
Hmm.
They are, and she would have to like actually show us something different. Like I miss when she was just a friend of the show. Like, can we like relegate her back to just being a friend of the show?
Now she needs to be sacked. I'm sorry. She needs to be sacked.
Yeah.
Or not.
I don't
Mm.
know what they're giving is not. It's not quality. It's not really what we're used to with Real Housewives of Atlanta. You know, and
And this is what
they
I
used
was
to be.
telling them. I was saying that Sanya has a story, but I don't know why they are not showing it. I don't know why. I'm so
That's what I'm
mad
saying.
for her.
Like they say you can't blame production, but is it you? So we're saying it's just the cast because if it's just the cast, then okay, time to recast. Then they're not showing. They're not giving. But the way it's clipped and edited, that's production. That's not the cast. What we're seeing and how it's being shown to us is because how production is editing it and presenting it to us. So either the cast needs to get together and let it be known like, hey, y'all are not just going to show part of a story, y'all need to show it all, or this is just really what they have to offer.
I
Don't
think
know which
this is
one it
all
is,
they have
but
to offer. Malo was brought on because the lady's parents bring in reality. They can only edit what's given. And that's the point. Nobody has anything to give because for the fact that she had to carry the entire episode on her shoulders. Let's forget the fact that she can be very annoying, but she legit carried the entire episode, and that made me very uncomfortable. Because if nobody has any storyline, and the lady that everybody keeps bashing, saying, "Oh, she needs to be thrown out, she needs to be thrown out," is the only one with a storyline, then that's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else are y'all giving? Everybody has a story. Why are y'all not really giving us the real story?
But in
But
Potomac, at least we have married women.
yeah,
Just saying.
at least.
Right? This is Real Housewives of Atlanta. The Real Housewives, the ones who are married, I feel should definitely be bringing more story.
It's only what, two?
Those are the ones that need to be focused on. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on, showing healthy marriages and, you know, how you deal with problems in a marriage. That's cool. Of course, we want to see navigating through being single and going through divorce and all. There's so many different storylines that these women have, but they're not bringing it.
I
So
think
whose fault is it?
my theory of them wanting to kill this season is the only thing that seems to make sense. Because this episode was just not it. It was just not it. I'm sorry.
Let's hope for better next week.
I hope so.
Fingers crossed.
So, do anybody have any last words before we end the live?
The only thing I was gonna say is I feel like I can just sense that all of us we sound so fed up today with like the episode. It was just like everyone just sounded like we just hope like it gets better, and that was
Yeah,
literally
because I'm actually just holding on at this
yeah.
point.
Yeah, same here, same here. But I'm hoping next week will be better. But yeah, that is all I had to say.
Yeah, same. Hopefully it gets better. Hopefully it's a little more drama.
At
Here,
this
Drama.
Johnson said,
point,
"Healthy marriage."
they need to bring
You have
drama
way too much
because
help.
if they can't show us anything healthy, bring drama. I'm no longer biased. I want them to look now. Just bring drama. At
Yeah,
least
just
to
bring
keep us
it.
watching.
And that's the thing. There isn't healthy marriages, but hell, show us it. Let us see what y'all are going through. Something. Damn, this is just. Ugh.
It's only two of them that's married, and one of them is about to get a divorce.
Right? And if the other one don't act right and do what she's supposed to, it
Right.
might be down the line too. Well, you know what? Give me. That's what I want. Where are the shows where we can see healthy relationships? Where is the healthy shit?
Yeah,
Oh, I forgot that shit doesn't sell. Nobody wants to see that, huh?
You can
exactly.
watch Love and Marriage Hunting for this cut.
Psych. Mm-mm.
Damn. Well, if that's what we have, standards are very low. There goes all my hope.
Very low.
Eh, yeah.
But if that's all, we'll see you guys on
All
All
right.
Monday.
right. See you,
Monday we're reverting
ladies.
back to 5 p.m. EST, right?
Right.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
So see you guys
Okay, no
Monday.
worries.
Thank you for joining us. Please like, subscribe, and I hope the show
See
gets
you.
better.
Yes, definitely.
Bye bye.
Bye,
Bye,
ladies.
Bye
Queen.
all. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You
Stay
too.
blessed, everyone.